there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me here. So in some ways this is a part 2 to the video I did yesterday. We got our very first look of Milly Alcock in the Supergirl costume yesterday. I did a video, uploaded it, talking about the images that we had. It was like Milly Alcock on top of a tank, and there was a character that she was facing off against that a lot of people are speculating could be Lobo. So if you're interested in that video guys, I'll link it down in the description. That's sort of a part 1. This is part 2. We have more Milly Alcock Supergirl photos to look at. So we're going to do that. We're going to jump straight in, take a look at those photos, then we'll get to some of the information in this article as well. So this comes to us from Comic Book Movie. Supergirl set photos reveal best look yet at Milly Alcock's Woman of Tomorrow costume. So yeah, these set images here are better than what we actually saw yesterday, because in these images we actually get the front of the costume in more detail, even though it's still grainy. Even though it's so strange, isn't it? It's the year 2025, and you would think that drone footage would be 4K as standard, super high definition. But for whatever reason, this drone is very low quality when it's zoomed in. But that's neither here nor there. We still get a set image here of Milly Alcock in the costume, and we can kind of decipher what the costume looks like, even though it's a bit grainy and blurry. So let's get into this. So we can clearly see here from her costume, we can clearly see the long red boots, we can see the red skirt, we can see the gold trim around the waist. This is exactly the same as what the Woman of Tomorrow costume is from the comic book, which looks fantastic. I'll put an image up here so you can see a side-by-side comparison of what the comic book version of the costume looks like and what this looks like. And you can see it's pretty much a one-for-one replica with slight variations, obviously. Again, we can see the golden trim, and then we can see the S logo on the chest, which is exactly the same as the S logo that David Corenswet has on his Superman costume. So the crest is going to be exactly the same. You would obviously expect that. And we can see the red cape just about in the background as well. Some people are saying that she's got short hair, but it's very hard to tell from this image here. I mean, a lot of her hair could be tucked behind her back. Also, it's very grainy, it's very blurry. And yeah, I mean, her hair could be tucked behind her back, kind of flowing down her back, so it's really hard to tell whether she's got long or short hair here. Either way, it's only the length of the hair, it really doesn't matter all that much, but I think the costume looks fantastic. From what we can see here and what we can decipher from this blurry image, I think it looks on point, I think it looks fantastic, and I'm really hoping that we get some up-close HD shots at some point. It's just a shame that for whatever reason the quality of this drone footage isn't very good, but I still appreciate the fact that this guy's done these images regardless of the quality. So with that down, let's just point out some other things. We got some crew members around here. We got a forklift, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not really much else we can dig into here. But yeah, I think the costume looks great. I'm really excited to see a HD version of it, and I would love to know what you guys think. So let's move on to the next image here. So this next image here, again from Unboxed PhD Film, Milly Alcock in the Supergirl suit. So we see her here walking across set, and we can clearly see here that it looks like she does have long hair. You can see her hair cascading down the back of her cape here. And you can see her walking across set here. Again, we get a little bit of the kind of the boots here. We can see the gap between the boots and kind of the skirt. And I think the boots look really, really cool. The golden trim, we can see the blue from the suit going down to her arms. I don't know whether it's going to be like in the Supergirl series, where she's going to have like a glove kind of built into the suit, where her thumb kind of goes through the suit, so it's kind of like a glove almost, or whether it's just going to be kind of like a wrist, cut off at the wrist. I'm not really sure how that's going to work, but it'd be interesting to see how they kind of finalize that detail, whether it's wrist or whether it's kind of like a thumb, gap, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, again, we get this kind of pad here. We get a bit of the tank that we saw from the images yesterday. And it looks like another crew member here. Or it could potentially be that Jason Momoa character. Not Jason Momoa character. It could potentially be Lobo here in the background. Unless that's equipment, but it looks like a person. Again, very grainy image. Very hard to tell here what I'm looking at exactly. But it does look like there's a person sort of here where I'm pointing out with my mouse. But it's hard to tell. And yeah, again, looking pretty cool. We can see the cape is pretty long. I mean, it goes right down to her heel, right down to the end of her boot here. So it's a pretty long cape. We can't see the S, kind of like the David Corenswet. We see the yellow S on the back of his cape. There doesn't seem to be a yellow S here, or if there is, it's very, very low resolution, so it's fading into the cape, the redness of the cape. We'll have to wait and see if there is in fact a yellow S on the back of the cape. So moving on to the next image here. So someone's done a mock-up here of what the Milly Alcock Supergirl suit could potentially look like once we get HD resolution images. As you can see, it's very, very reminiscent of the David Corn sweatsuit. This kind of piping that goes along the kind of the costume, this kind of, I'm not really sure what you call it, like wiring, kind of like indentation, these marks. Very, very kind of sci-fi, very Kryptonian looking, very space age. These kind of grooves within the costume itself. Again, we get the yellow trim. Obviously, we get the mini skirt. We get the long red boots here. And we get the cape as well. And she's got kind of like longish kind of shoulder length hair here. So that's kind of what the suit could finalize. Once it's finalized, that's what it could look like once we get a great kind of HD shot. But that's what I kind of think is going to look like once we do get those, you know, more clearer images. But it looks really, really cool. That's a piece of fan art. And that comes to us from Philippe Iller. And yeah, pretty damn cool mock-up shot there. Moving on to the next one, so just a comparison with David Corenswet's Superman suit here. Obviously, you can see the piping across the suit, the indentations, the lines, the grooves, whatever term you want to use, and you can see how reminiscent it is of this costume here with the exact same grooves. Pretty much on point with the yellow belt. Instead of the yellow belt, she's got yellow trim. So it's kind of a very, very close one-for-one replica almost, but obviously a female to male kind of a replication of the suit, if you like. So, do we have anything else? Yeah, so we have this kind of, this mock-up here. Someone obviously did a Supergirl poster here, very much in the theme of the Superman one, where you see Superman in the background with these kind of faded, pixelated colors, kind of rising up the background, and then we see Superman in the middle, but someone's obviously inserted Milly Alcock Supergirl. Potentially this could be a poster that they may release in the future, but it's pretty cool, pretty awesome. I love seeing fan artwork, and I thought you guys may be interested to see this here. And by the way, this comes to us from Johnny Geek Art as well. So if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you follow him on X, guys. So with all that down, let's go back over to the article here, and let's read some of this information. So, as filming continues on DC Studios' Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow in London, some more photos from the set have been shared online. Unfortunately, still no close-ups, but these latest drone shots do give us our best look yet at Milly Alcock suited up in the Girl of Steel suit, while revealing some new costume details. The suit appears to be almost identical to the one Kara Zor-El wears in Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic. We do know, obviously, this movie is based on that comic book run, so it makes sense that her costume would be based on that as well. With the classic color scheme, cape and skirt, we also have confirmation that the costume will have the iconic S shield on the chest and the back of the cape. Okay, I don't know how they know that it's on the back of the cape, because none of the images that I've seen show the S on the cape, but if the person who wrote this article knows that, then they must have seen something. There's no sign of the mysterious foe Kara was doing battle with in the previous photos. That was the photos I broke down yesterday. Like I said, there's another character that she looks to be fighting that could be Jason Momoa's Lobo. We're not really sure at this point. But based on a few details we can make out, there's a pretty good chance it was indeed Jason Momoa as Lobo. With heightened security around the set, the drone images are probably the best we can hope for until an official image is released. Studios will often get a first look still out there ahead of any leaks, so watch this space. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? Obviously, James Gunn would have seen this by now, and DC Studios, some representatives or executives, whichever term you want to use. And I'm sure they're probably thinking, right, there's all these leaks coming out of the set. We need to put out an official first look of Milly Alcock in the costume to get ahead of the leaks, to make sure people's first exposure to what she looks like is a good official image. And hopefully we're going to get that within the next day or so. I mean, he could even have released it by now as I'm talking about this. We just don't know. We'll have to wait and see if it does, if we do get an official image from DC Studios in the next day, the next week or so. I hope we do. As soon as we do, guys, I'll make sure I'll update you guys on the channel. But for now, that's kind of the images that we have to go with. Very grainy, very low resolution, unfortunately. Again, I do apologize, but still, it's pretty damn cool to see this image here of Milly Alcock in the costume for the first time. And I really, really love what the costume looks like so far. So guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. From what we can see, do you think the costume looks good? Do you think it looks bad? Do you think it looks somewhere in the middle? And if there was any improvements or any other comments you need to make about what's going on here, do let us know. I would love to hear your feedback. As always, thanks so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so far. It goes a long way to supporting my content, so I really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.